personal trainer, Wayne, is here to help you guys out. Everybody wants to get in shape for the new year, so we have somebody. This is what he does. Can get you right. Can get you right. Definitely, if you're here locally in Baltimore, Maryland, I'm sure he would love to have you, take you on as a client, train you, get you right, and maybe we can bring you back on the show. Last week we talked about how do we track these goals, these SMART goals. Maybe we can bring you back on the show. Wayne again is another show. Your progress shows us. Gotta get it like that. Welcome to the Rashad Mills Show, courtesy of PowerOfPurposeRadio.com. And as always, I'm always excited because I know you guys could have been anywhere in the world on this Tuesday evening, but you decided to join me, and I'm going to be forever grateful and thankful for that. In addition to being thankful, I'm so thankful we have personal trainer Wayne Mondell joining us this evening. Now, guys, last week, one of the things that I mentioned that we're concluding 2016. This is the last Rashad Mills show of 2016, and I mentioned to my audience last week, Wayne, that everybody is interested in doing two things, prepping for the new season, the new year, I should say, getting your finances right, and then getting your body right.
Absolutely.
So, man, I know your schedule has been pretty hectic. So, again, I thank you for joining me this evening because I know you had to adjust some things. And, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not just saying this, but I am. When I actually contacted Wayne, one of the things that I was instantly excited about is when I said, Wayne, can you come on the show? He said, Rashad, I'll change some things. I'll be on the show, a man of your word. So I appreciate that.
Thank you.
In addition to that, he talked about approaching this thing called physical fitness from a holistic perspective. So just kind of tell me your views on that.
And so just understanding, like, as, you know, we talk about fitness, we really approach it as, I got to work out. And that's just one component of your life. And if you think about all the things that pull you away from working out, whether it be money, it be relationships, whether it be your spirituality, those things are one of the things that's going to kind of take you off track. And so, like, knowing that, like, having addressed those things, and so we identify, okay, how do we want to build ourselves mentally? How do we want to build ourselves spiritually? How do we want to build ourselves relationship-wise? And those things, if we think about that from a holistic approach and attack those from a holistic approach, you'll have greater success. Not only will you get in shape then, but you'll be able to get in shape for the rest of your life. And that's the ultimate goal, is not just to get in shape for a season, but to get in the best shape of your life for the rest of your life.
That's a great point that you make. Now, let's go back to that. If we look at getting in shape from this holistic perspective, as if this was an actual pie, can one slice of that pie be off and you still achieve your maximum fitness goals? Is it possible?
Well, it's possible to, to be off, but getting in a deficiency in one area is going to affect the rest. And so, long term, it's going to throw you off track. And some of those, and that's how some of us, we get in that grind phase, January, February, and then usually somewhere in the 90-day period, something happens in your life, and that makes you shift. And so that piece of the pie starts to drift. And so if we know that in the beginning of the year, understanding, like, I'm going to get healthy, I'm going to be in the best shape of my life no matter what, and then whatever happens in my life, I'm going to deal with it and not let my health slide because of something else that happened.
Now, what is, and I know this is $1 million question for a personal trainer, Matt, what is the biggest misconception about people waiting till December to try to get into shape and knowing by January the 27th they're never going to go back into the gym? What is the biggest misconception that people have about that process?
Well, the biggest misconception, it really is the work that it takes. And so people front load it with, it's just like anything else. Just like we talk about money or anything else, they don't go in it with any type of plan. And so you're going in with this big excitement where I'll have this, you want to set an unrealistic goal, but they don't have set a plan in place to hit those goals. And so, for example, coming in the new year might say, I'm going to lose 30 pounds in 30 days. And so realistically, it probably took you 4 or 5 years to put that weight on.
Right, and a lot of ice cream. Right.
And you want to try to take it off in 90 days. I'm sorry, in 30 days. And so, it's great to have great goals, but understand you have to match that with the effort that comes along with it. And so if we're going to have a high goal here, you got to match it with that high level of intensity. And so if your intensity is here, you need to drop that goal a little bit.
So what is your workload like? Let's say January the 1st or January the 2nd. Is it true like the media perceives it to be sometimes like personal trainers are just bombarded and the gym is just like this madhouse? Is that really fact or fiction?
It is true, very true. Right now, I need to have an assistant right now.
I'll volunteer. I'll volunteer. Do you
My-
pay well?
Yeah, well, I pay all right.
All right, we'll discuss it later after the show.
But right now, yeah, because everybody's shifting from spending money, and then now they're becoming a little bit more aware. And so, what do I do? And so, there's nothing planned in place. And so, okay, I'm gonna try to fix this with a trainer. And even though I'm a trainer, I love the money, I love the activity, but really, that's not where people should start. People really should start with their mindset, and people really should start with their nutrition because. The biggest misconception is that I can work off what I did in Christmas. I can work off, and reality of it is, one donut. You probably got to do about 300 burpees to burn off one donut.
Wow.
And so leading with the mindset, okay, this activity, I do all this activity, and wondering why I'm not getting this result is really because it starts with the mindset and how you think. And if you shift the behavior and shift the way you think, if you think about nutrition first, you'll yield a better result.
Wow. One of the interesting things that I absolutely love about live online streaming TV, and I have to say this, when you said that one donut is equivalent to 300 burpees, the producer, super producer, LaToya Liddell, her facial expression was like, wow. And I'm sitting here and I'm looking at you and I'm going wow as well because, man, I love chocolate chip cookies. So it is true that you cannot work away a bad diet.
You can't, so if you think about it, if we can put it in terms where like everybody can understand. And so if I went to my job every day, I work 8 hours, but I only clocked in for 1 hour. And then on that 1 hour, I was getting coffee, I was tearing it up, getting emails, but then I clocked back out. If I did that all week, right, I probably have 5 hours worth of work.
Wow, okay.
Right? And so, what would my paycheck look like? I mean, kind of short. And so we approach that same thing to nutrition. So we'll eat terribly for 8 hours, work out 1 hour in the gym, and think that we're gonna, what is your result gonna look like? It's too much on the outside of that workout. And so to make sure that you get the best out of, or the most effectiveness out of your workout, your nutrition has to be on point. Not saying that you got to eat super clean, you got to eat grass all day, but you really want to just be conscious of, okay, is it worth it? Is it worth it? Because you can, typically the average person probably burns anywhere 300 to 500 calories in the gym. All right. You got to create a deficit of 500 calories to lose every day for 7 days to lose 1 pound. So 3,500 calories. So if we create a deficit of 500 calories 7 days a week, that's working out 7 days a week, you'll lose 1 pound.
Wow.
And so if you have a donut as 300 calories, 500 calories, and you're wondering why I'm not getting the result that I'm looking for, is because either one, you're not creating a higher deficit, or you just, you're digging a hole, and then next thing you know, you're filling it back in.
Wow. That was an excellent analogy, Wayne. Actually, LaToya, is there any way we can pull up it's sort of a picture that gives a great example of portion control as well, because I've heard a lot of personal trainers just talk about portion control. So somebody may say, hey, Rashad, I'll have this one meal, but that one meal is literally this huge meal, and they're not eating again for maybe, 5 or 6 hours. So if you look up on the screen for people that are watching, and I actually got this off of your Instagram page, I think that gives us a great visual perspective of what portion control looks like. Now, Wayne, from your experience in this field, sort of break down what an average meal should look like based on protein, carbs, and things of that nature, just to give people an idea of what they should actually have, just to kind of help them along the way, because, again, I know a lot of people struggle with the portion control perspective.
Yeah, and that's probably the biggest deal. Sometimes we can say, I'm going to eat rice. Well, how much brown rice? How much, chicken? Right. How much am I supposed to have? And so I really kind of break it down to a caveman's mentality. So, for example, like everybody doesn't have the ability to measure and weigh. And so first thing you want to ask yourself is my meal complete? And so like your meal can be healthy, but it might not be complete. And so somebody might say, I'm having oatmeal for breakfast, which is very healthy, but it's not complete, all right? Because it's only a portion, it's all carbs, okay? And so you want to make sure that you have a portion of protein and a portion of carbohydrate. And then so the next you want to ask, how big is my portion size? And so if you really look at the amount that's going to fit in the palm of your hand, And so, like, you might not be able to have a scale. You might be out and about and say, like, if this amount is going to fit in my hand, portion of protein is going to fit in my hand, portion of carbs is going to fit in my hand. And with vegetables, you can pretty much go all out. And then you want to think about the frequency. How often am I eating? You know, average person, you know, is only eating one time a day. It's counterproductive to just living healthier. If you think about, you know, if your life or your body is like a race car track, and you as you're going around and around, that race car goes in and get pit stops to get what it needs. You know, and so your body is the same way. As you're going throughout the day, you need those pit stops, you need those nutrients, you need those things to supply your body to perform on a high level all day. So that's why people are usually sluggish or tired. Like, you know, food is energy, and so you shouldn't get the itis.
Right.
When you eat. So either you're eating too much or you waited too long to eat, and so your body has to pull all your blood to your digestive system, and it slows you down.
Wow. So on a typical day, how many meals, full meals, should somebody have on a typical day?
So typical meal, you want to say, so I say 5 meals. And so when I say meals, that means eating 5 times. So the frequency. And so you're not necessarily thinking about eating a huge meal. I personally utilize at least one meal replacement every morning just to get my day going. Gives me 100% of my nutrition. So that way it fills those gaps in. Because even when you're eating clean, you know, I don't know, you know, even if I'm eating an apple, I really don't know, you know, how many nutrients are in this apple. And so I make sure that I have a meal replacement every morning to make sure that I'm getting my nutrients. So I consider that as meal 1. Typically have a snack about 2 to 3 hours after that. That can range from some Greek yogurt to like 20 almonds, something that's like a protein-based snack, something that's going to keep my metabolism up, something that has a low amount of sugar. And then usually around lunchtime, I'll have something that's green and leafy and some type of protein. Same thing, 2 hours after that, some type of snack. So it could be
a Snickers bar.
Maybe not a Snickers bar.
I'm just joking.
Maybe not a Snickers
bar.
No,
I was just making sure you on point, Wayne.
Maybe not a Snickers bar, but maybe a protein bar. What else I usually have? Hummus, chickpeas, things of that nature. And then I would have like a colorful meal. So a colorful meal is, again, those portion size. Have a portion of protein. And so if I had a plate and my plate was round, I would say a third of my plate would be a protein. A third of my plate will be a complex carb. So you're thinking like brown rice, sweet potato, things of that nature. And then the other 2/3 would be vegetables. You pretty much can, you know, overdose on vegetables.
Okay. So let's go back. And you mentioned this in the beginning of the show, and you just sort of talked about it briefly. The mindset. When you have the opportunity to meet a new client for the first time, how do you inject that part of it into this whole idea of being healthy and living a better lifestyle, that the mental part of it?
So I really get back into their why, okay? And so if somebody says, I want to lose 10 pounds, okay? So I dig a little bit deeper. That's way on like the surface level. So I'll ask, hey, when's the last time you felt your best? And then understanding feeling your best and relating that to your goal, and then I'll go into who's gonna benefit, what kind of impact, what's gonna change from your life by you losing that 10 pounds. And so, you know, identifying like if I lose 10 pounds, I'm gonna, you know, I'll be able to show up, work for better. I've had more energy for my kids. You know, I might take my wife out, or I might take my husband might want to take me out. And so now there's an emotional drive to it.
So it's a shift that you create.
You create that shift, and so like it's way past the aesthetics. And then one of the things I do, I'm very big on preaching belief. And so it's very easy for us to point out the things that we don't like about ourselves. And so to create that shift or create that momentum in the other direction, I have somebody write down 5 to 10 things that they like about themselves right now. And so they start to create the energy to start to see what great things that they have going on. And then when you start to pour and into that thing, it starts to grow. And so that in itself shifts the mindset into looking for opportunities to become greater instead of the things that I'm at lack.
Wow. So for the people that are actually watching, I see a lot of people on Facebook Live as well. I'm just trying to capture all the comments. Keisha, I see you on here. See somebody else. Great info. Yes. One of the things that I actually want you guys to take advantage of right now is Wayne just said something that was really profound to me, and write down 5 things that you really love about yourself, or good things. And I like the way you said it, sort of reverse that momentum, because a lot of times the negative thinking, it's a momentum. And when Uncle Mo starts going in one direction, man, it just continues. So if you're watching at home right now, you have a pen and paper handy, even your smartphone, just take the opportunity and go ahead and write down 5 things. I think that would be a great thing for you to do. And it doesn't even have to relate to health or fitness per se. It's just write down 5 things that you like about yourself, and then you can kind of, as Wayne said, continue to pour in that. So Wayne, I think that was a great point. So there's a lot of personal trainers out there, right? Mm-hmm. For people at home watching, and they may say, Rashad, well, what is going to separate Wayne from the other ones? What do you give your clients that they can't go to any other place in this country of ours and get from a personal trainer? What separates you?
So you get me, you get me. And so, I can't really speak on anybody else, but I go way past the training.
Okay.
Like I look at the person as an individual. My whole vision is to like help you to become the best version of yourself, and whatever that looks like. And so for me, I'm constantly pouring into people and showing them the light to see, one, I lead by an example and becoming the best version of myself, and then showing people what's possible for their own lives. And like, so I'm not the guy that's going to like, we come into the gym and we just do a couple of sets and then, hey, I'll see you next week. It's ongoing. Like my clients get Monday motivation from me. I create a online social group. And so like one of the things that, I kind of want to touch on is like when people are getting in shape, they think it's just this one thing. It really is 5 components. And so those 5 components is, you got to learn how to eat, right? For your whatever lifestyle, whatever goal that you want. And then having the exercise that's going to, like if your goal is to, to be a marathon runner, you're not going to get by going to the gym and for 5-10 minutes and walking on the treadmill.
Right.
So if your goal is to look your physique a certain way, you might not want to run 10 miles a day. And so you have to match the exercise with whatever your result is. And then the other component is, especially when we're talking about weight loss, supplementation. And so people think that supplementation is something that we don't need. And the reality of it is that we do. And I always want to just kind of share on an aspect of where if we're thinking about weight loss, typically the average person cuts their calories back, right? And so if you're thinking about if I'm cutting my calories back, what else I'm doing? I'm also cutting my nutrients back. And so I always lead with the intention of health over aesthetics. And so if I'm cutting your nutrients back, then how am I depleting your body? And so where do you get those resources from? Because the reality of it, in order to get 100% of your nutrition, even eating clean food, you need to eat about 25 to 3,000 calories.
Okay.
And so if I'm cutting, the average person's cutting their calories back to 1,500 calories, where do I get those nutrients from? And so that's where the important place of supplementation comes in, making sure that, I personally use Herbalife Nutrition, but you want to use a company that is reputable, and you want to do your research. That way that you're getting a quality product, and you know that you're not going to be at a place of lack. Because here's one of the things, I've seen people become vegan, all right, and really not understand the kind of work that it goes into it.
Okay.
And so they have, loose hair. They have deficiency in the skin. They get weak bones because they don't know what they need, and their body's missing certain nutrients. And so they're not supplementation. They're not having the right amount of plant protein. And so, what they started out to do something healthy end up making them unhealthy.
Yeah. So that momentum was going in the opposite direction.
So that's where the supplementation comes in. The 4th thing is continuing education. You got to continue to learn or get some coaching. And so, if you can't afford a trainer, hire a coach, somebody to teach you ongoing to let you, because like you might get tired of eating brown rice. You know, you might get tired, and so like coming up with creative ways and shifting that momentum, and so that way you don't lose that, and so you don't get tired of eating the same thing every single day or doing the same workouts every single day. And then lastly, number 5 really should be number one is the community, right? You know, birds of a feather flock together. You know, if you wanna get rich, you wanna hang around millionaires. You wanna get sick, you wanna hang around with somebody who got the flu. You wanna get in the best shape of your life, you gotta hang around fit people. You know, because sometimes you can go to grandma's house and everybody's, tearing up.
Right.
You the only one in there,
No, man, Wayne said I can't have this pumpkin pie, man. I got to wait because Wayne said that. Right.
And not saying, your family's going to support you in other things. It might just not be that. And so you need a community to plug in to say, hey, don't do that. This is your goal, and that can encourage you instead of beating you up.
Right. Wayne, I mean, you're just on fire tonight, man. One of the things that you said for the people out there watching, I have to reiterate this. I think this was the fourth one that you talk about is the continuing education piece. So whatever aspect of your life that you want to be great in, not even good to be great in, or you want to improve in for that matter, you have to continue to learn. So in regards to continuing education, let me actually say the fifth one as well. I think that one is a great point as well, the community. Because I always hear the old adage, if you want to be a millionaire, you try to hang around millionaires, right? So you are really a sum of the 5 people that you talk to most. So if you want to get in shape, obviously you want to hang around people like Wayne. But one of the questions I just want to go back, that fourth one was the continuing education. Is the information on the internet reliable and valuable? And I know what percentage would you say, well, you can trust this, or there are some sites that you prefer as opposed to other ones? Because I know, years ago when I wanted to make some changes in my body to try to eat right, literally I found myself on the internet and I was eating brown rice and oatmeal every day of my life. And eventually I just threw it against the wall. I said, man, just give me some bacon, eggs, and cheese. I can't do it anymore because I lack that information. So are there some sites that you believe in? Or?
Well, I mean, I use the internet to some degree because, Google, everybody loves Google. However, on the other side, Google will tell you the same thing is right, and they'll tell you the same thing is wrong. They'll tell you, reasons why you can breathe oxygen, but then they'll tell you reasons why you can't breathe oxygen. And so, really it's trial and error. You figure out what works for you. I have been blessed with being able to create a community. I also have like a team of coaches, and so that's really what works for me. Just really me taking on, working out, and then I've created like not a small community. We have a nice community of people, and so we collectively share information.
Okay.
And so that's where that ongoing continuing education really comes from. Meeting people in the community, and so they'll share stuff that's working for them. And so some of the information on the internet is reliable, some of it isn't. And so if a lot of that, and then a lot of it has to do with you just plan it and see what working, because something that you see on the internet might work for you and it might not. And and just really taking the time and saying like, this works for me, and saying I'm going to continue that, and then keep reaching for more.
Got you. So when we're almost at close to the end of the show at this point, so I always do this with the guests that are on the show. This is a great opportunity. You mentioned that you were with Herbalife, so go ahead and kind of tell people why Herbalife can be beneficial to them, and give them some more information regarding that.
So one of the reasons, I'm going to be totally honest. When I first saw Herbalife Nutrition, I really thought it was just like everything else. I was really super skeptical. But when I really went back and looked at the research of the company has been in business for 37 years.
Wow. Okay.
Of just nutrition. Ain't nothing else. And you do something for 37 years, typically you get pretty good at it. Also, the company has Nobel laureate. They have the nutrition staff is like the best in the world. We're offered in 96 countries. And, the idea behind that is like, it's really hard, you have the the FDA here, but you have 96 countries that say this product is good for that people. And so I kind of went with that. But really, what really did it for me, behind all the research and all the stuff, I said, look, you know what? I'm going to try it for 90 days. And so I tried it for 90 days. I was that know-it-all trainer. You couldn't tell me anything about nutrition. I was that guy like, what? You can't tell me. And said, I already thought I was in shape. And so what happened was I tried to say, you know what? I'm gonna prove it doesn't work. I'm gonna prove it doesn't work. And so I did it for 90 days. Ended up dropping my body fat percentage to my lowest, like 7% body fat. My energy was through the roof.
What was your body fat percentage again?
My body fat before that was around like 12,
7%.
So I dropped all the way down to 7% body fat. But on top of that, my energy was through the roof. Like before, when I tried to cut my calories back, I really lost a little energy-wise. I lost the strength. So I didn't lose any strength. I was strong, and I was in the best shape of my life. And so that's what really did it for me. And the company doesn't not necessarily just do weight loss. It's nutrition. And so everything from your skin to digestive. And so like it gave me the variety to just help people instead of anybody that just wanted to lose weight. I wanted to create a solution and opportunity. And so if I decided I wanted to do something with nutrition and I took Herbalife off of it and I took, everything that I wanted in a nutrition company, it had everything that I wanted.
Wow.
I would have to create it. And it gives me the opportunity to do something where I can just plug right into the greatness that they've already created.
Wow. So if people were interested in learning more about that product or potentially purchasing that product, where would they go?
Well, if you want to get the product, we are a direct sales company.
Okay.
And so you would have to find a distributor. If you want to find me, you can actually, I can give you can call me direct.
Okay.
I do one-on-one. I'm not just somebody that's just going to sell you a product. The reason why most of my clients get result is because I don't just it's just not a transaction.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here to walk this thing out with you. We're gonna whatever your goal is, we're gonna line it up. So if you want to reach out to me, you can call me or text me. My number is 443-683-6815. You can also hit me up on Instagram at I am next level. That's IAM next level. And you can also find me on Facebook at Wayne Mundell on Facebook. And we also have a page, Next Level Training and Wellness.
Wow. I just have to repeat this before we end the show. 7% with your body fat?
Yeah, 7%.
I'm not even going to lie, Wayne. I'm a hater right now. I'm a
different.
hater right now. 7%? I am a hater, and I'm going to announce it right now. I'm a hater. Man, that's impressive.
Disrespectful. Like, I had 3D abs. My abs were 3D. Like,
Did you have to say that, though? Did you have to say that? Like, because I don't have 3D abs. Like, dang, Wayne. Like, work with a brother. Like, I just said I was a hater, and then he went in detail. 3D abs. Wow. Man, thank you so much for joining me. One thing that I must do before I conclude this show, I was just thinking, it's my editorial moment, and I just have to say, I want to say thank you to the following people. This is the last Rashad Mills show that we will have in 2016. So Minister Letitia Williams, Arthur Lewis Jr., Verna Mason, Eric Randall, Michael Foy, Chris Campbell, Bashe Williams, Wayne Mundell, Kashia Jones, Cassandra Vaughn, Rashad Corey, William Thomas, Sadiq Ali, and Brian Henderson. I personally want to say thank you to all of the guests that have taken time out. You're busy and hectic. Most of you guys are entrepreneurs. You're scheduled to come onto the Rashad Mills Show. So truly, from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank you guys. I want to thank everybody that tunes in on Facebook Live. So it's very important to me because without you guys, the show is not even in existence. In addition to that, catch Rashad Mills, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, Rashad Bowtie Mills, every Friday for your happy hour, which is your motivation and inspiration. In addition to that, if you need a motivational speaker, RashadMills.com, or if you want a fancy bow tie, RashadMills.com, click shop, PayPal it, and you'll get it in the mail. With that being said, thank you guys so much. And 2016 was great. 2017 is going to be even better. And I'm going to run off to the gym and work on my own 3D abs, Wayne. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys next Tuesday, 2017. Man, wow. 3D abs, Wayne. Jeez.